Hello everybody, welcome back to VI Prospecting. Thanks for watching and tuning in. I am back on the claim again today, up on the Bonanza, and I'm going to be doing some more digging and try the changes I made to the high banker system. I'll give you an overview of that when I set it all up. I just got on site, it's noon. Got a late start this morning, but that's okay. I'm going to be spending the night here and get a pretty much full day of work in for tomorrow for whatever I don't get done today anyway. So it's going to be good. So tune in or stay tuned and we'll see what we can find today. Hopefully more gold than last time. Alright, all the gear's unloaded out of the truck. I think I'm going to actually set up the high banker and get it ready to run, and basically just about where it's sitting. And this little dip in the valley here is just going to hold the water. It's not going to go anywhere, it's not going to puddle up or anything. The gravel's really light. And I think you can see up here against the edge of the river, there's a lot of big rocks. There's some sand deposited here. And it gets a little bit higher, and the river is right on the other side of this hump. I think this is where I'm going to start digging. Right there. See what's in this bit of gravel where those bigger rocks are. Test it out here anyway. Okay, it's 2 p.m. Took me about, I don't know, just over an hour to get everything kind of set up the way I like it. I just tested the sluice, made sure it was level and running okay. I have the bottom at a 4-degree angle and I have the top at a 6-degree angle. I'm going to try that combination. We'll see what happens. I'm also not going to let the dam down. When it's in the down position, it holds back the water and gravel and such so that the water flows along the bottom a little more smoothly. But it really should have a false bottom behind it to make that work better. Right now it just plugs up with rocks, so I'm not going to use it. I lifted it up. Last time I used it, it plugged up with rocks, water started flowing over, and then I would lift it up to let the rocks out, and of course the whole thing would surge and probably wash out a whole bunch of gold. I want to have the water running consistent, I believe. So some changes I made this time. I've got some screws here to hold that connection together so it doesn't blow apart on me anymore. And I also put the screws there and there so that doesn't blow apart on me anymore. I've also added a little bit of expanded metal and some mesh material. It's just scrubby pad. Added that up at the top of the box. That'll slow the rocks down a little bit, and it'll probably catch some gold too, if there's any chunky stuff anyways. I've also siliconed this piece of flashing that just stops a lot of water from washing over. I didn't have it siliconed, and there was a bunch of rocks that were jamming inside there and holding it open, so water was flowing through there. So I put some silicone in behind it, and that ought to stop all that from happening to me. I've also found myself a male-to-male connector so I could attach the garden hose nozzle to this. Probably won't need it because I've also increased the size of the first couple holes here. Actually drilled entirely new holes. There's two 3/8 inch holes on each side, so I'm getting quite a bit more water flow just from that now. It wasn't quite enough last time. It seems more than adequate now. In fact, I had to back it off a little bit. So I think I'm going to try that setup and see how that works for me. So I've got 1.5 inch fire hose running to a 1.5 inch pump over there. There is a bucket with mesh around it in the river. It's probably less than 1 millimeter holes, but there's lots of them. The Fisheries and Oceans standard is for 1.5 inch pump or less, and the hole size has to be less than 2 millimeter, maybe 2.5 millimeter. I'm way below that. So that should work out fine as far as the sluicing goes. This is going to be my settling pond. I doubt that the water's even going to pool there. I ran it for 5 minutes and made the ground wet. As soon as I turned the water off, it disappeared. That's all it did. So there's a lot of water flowing underneath all this gravel. I know it because there's water coming out at various low points. So I don't even know how far down I'm going to have to dig, or going to be able to dig, before I start hitting water. But this is where I'm going to dig. I can't dig there. That's the littoral zone. Anywhere that's vegetated, can't dig in there. Can't disturb that stuff. I could do hand panning in there, but for digging, you got to do it in the unvegetated gravel, and it has to be more than 3 meters away from the water. So I'm definitely I'm about 100 feet actually, because I'm using a 100-foot hose, and so I'm probably 95 feet from the water, way more than the 3 meters. But I'm going to dig right here where my shovel is. Sorry if this camera's a little bouncy. So I'm going to mount the tripod right here. Put the camera on every now and then. Follow the progress. Well, about like I figured. I am about the level of the river. and I'm starting to get water in that hole. It's only about 2 feet deep, maybe a little deeper. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way this way on the next set of buckets. In the meantime, that little hole filled up all my buckets. Got about 130 liters here total, maybe a little more. And I think I'm going to run that and do a quick clean out, see if there's anything in that, and then I'll decide what's going on from there. Okay, you won't be able to hear me when I'm over there, but you see what I'm doing at least. that was fun. Okay. Cleanup time. That. There, but lots of fine speck. Lots of stuff underneath it too. Well, there's a little nugget. Well, kind of a picker anyway. That's nice. And then a couple little specks. Teeny little specks and then a little nugget. I think it's attached to something. Careful now. Well, I'll put all this in the can in any case. We'll see what sort of later. Clean up those. I don't expect to see much there, but I'll show you whatever I get in the pan. Well, it's 5:30 p.m. and it just rained for about 15 minutes or so. Hard to say if it's gonna shower anymore. There are some thick clouds, but there's also some blue skies, so I'm going to spend the next little bit focusing on some kind of a shelter. There is a fire pit-ish area here. I think I can, I'm just going to put up a tarp and make a bed of some sort. I did see a whole bunch of dead alder over there, about 3-4 inches. That'd probably make a good frame for a bed. I think I'll try to utilize that. And I'm really lacking trees, but I'll see what I can put together to make a frame for a tarp. Alright, I'm gonna get busy. Well, I just used the chainsaw here to cut down one dead alder that was standing. The plan was I was going to cut down several and take some 7 or 8 foot chunks of it to make a bed, raised bed. But when I finished cutting that one down, I dragged all the top and sticks over, and then I found something. Come with me. I have to show you this. Oh, sorry about that. So, cut that alder down over here. There's still a few branches over there I have to collect. But I came across this. Looks like somebody stashed a shelter. And I'm thinking those poles are going to be much nicer to lay on than sticks with branches sticking out. So I'm going to use those. Maybe I can even use them to erect the shelter. I don't think I'll use that tarp. I'm not exactly sure what this thing is supposed to look like. Looks like all the pieces are here. There's a bucket there that's all, looks like it's been stashed for at least a couple of years. Not sure what to do about that. If I should just leave it. Probably from a previous claim owner. But I might make use of some of those poles for myself tonight. I'll put them back there when I'm done with them. And then we'll see over the next little while if they are going to do anything with them. I got a pile of firewood so far. That stuff's going to burn really fast. And I have to cut down a couple bigger trees yet to get some heavier wood. Anyway, I just wanted to update you on the plan. Well, it isn't pretty, but it was actually one of the easiest shelters I ever made, so whatever, I'm pretty happy about it. I had this extra little tarp that I usually put on my bed. I didn't really need it though, so I just threw it up on the side in case the wind picks up, keep the wind off my face. And you can see I used the pipes and logs to build up the bed so I can sit on it. There, nice and comfy. Tried it out already, it's alright. It's not the Hilton, but that's what roughing it is. So I've just been rearranging the rocks for the fireplace and processing some of the firewood that I cut up. It's sure nice to have the chainsaw today. Better than trying to use the bow saw. Well, the race is done, and I'm just using the last of those hot coals to heat up my first smoky. Probably going to have 2 of those. Maybe more, but they're pretty big. I think 2 is going to be good. And then I'll put a bit more wood on. I processed that pile of sticks into something that's burnable. I don't need a big roaring fire. It's pretty hot. Actually, wish I could move my chair back a little bit. But it's going to be a pretty comfy night. I got my bed made and just got to unfold my sleeping bag and put it underneath the wool blanket. I've got a wool blanket over my sleeping pad just to protect it from any sparks that might come from the fire. These granite rocks, being river rocks, are pretty notorious for exploding, so I almost want to be wearing safety glasses. But I'll sit and sip my beer and eat my dinner, and then I'll probably be losing some light If there's anything comes up that's worth videoing, I will certainly do that, but otherwise, have a good night. We'll see you in the morning. ESB. Very good. Well, good morning again. Back at my equipment. Everything was the same way I left it last night. Got out here about 20 after 8, and the first thing I did was panned out the concentrates that I produced yesterday afternoon. Just got it down to the black sand, put it in a can, and I'll process it later at home. I didn't see a lot in it though. It was kind of disappointing. But I'm going to continue on with that hole, and I'm going to work down to the bottom, closer to where the bigger rocks are and the riffles from, there was probably water running through there at one time that produced that. So hopefully I'll find more as I get further into the bottom of that dry creek bed, and well, we'll see what we get. Anyway, I'll get back to you when I've got some full buckets. Just wanted to make a side note before I started here. I was having problems yesterday with the riffles clearing. I brought the water up to the point where I was getting so much water coming out the back end that I felt I was probably losing some gold out the back. So I reduced the water flow a bit, and I was still getting gravel straight across the riffles. It wasn't clearing out. And I had this one at 6 degrees, that one at 4 degrees. This one here was even worse, of course. So I ended up raising this back end of this one a bit, and so now it's just under 8 degrees. So it's like 7.7. And I got this one at 5. Takes a little longer to clear out, but I just have to go at a little bit slower pace for that one to catch up. I doubt it's catching any gold anyways, so I'm not too worried about it. I probably could just run with this one sluice. So I just wanted to make a note of that, and I don't know if I'll even include it in the video, but just so you know. They are level. I've got a spirit level here. I mean, they're very close to level. I don't think it has to be exact or anything, so I'm not too worried about it. Other than that, I'm running the same way as I did yesterday. And that's about the water flow that I'll be using. Let me show you that. Fairly good water flow. A little calmer there. Fairly turbulent there. It's really coming off those riffles. But there it's pretty calm, so if there's any super fine stuff, I'm hoping it'll catch there. Anyway, I'm going to run these 7 buckets of dirt, 8 buckets of dirt, 140 liters or so, 130 I think. Couple little specks. Not completely filled with black sand or anything yet, so running. Well, I just ran for about an hour and 15 minutes, I think. Took that long to run the 8 buckets I had. A little over an hour and 15 minutes anyway. And I just turned off the pump. And the settling pond is pretty much already drained. It just does not hold anything, so it just goes right through. It's amazing to me. This gravel is just really, really porous. So, probably means that gold is down deep, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. Might not mean anything. But I had a look in the riffles and stuff after it shut off, and the top, the black matting and the top of the sluice, I don't know what it's called, has a lot of really fine gold in it, and a couple of little tiny specks, flight poop type. You probably won't be able to see it with the camera, but there's lots of colors in there, tiny, tiny little stuff. And when I shut down, I discovered I put that expanded metal in backwards, so I probably won't be getting much in that, but who knows, we'll see. I'm helping you do things backwards. Learn something else to watch for next time. Well, it's 12:30. And the weather is looking pretty lousy. I think a storm is coming and I don't need to be getting drenched. Looks like it's gonna rain, so I think I'm just gonna call it a day early and stop where I was. Didn't get a lot of gold out of that hole either. It was better, but not by a lot. So I'm gonna clean up and head out. And I'll be back and we'll try again in a new spot though. I think I want to try somewhere that had more flow at some point. I think this is literally just a flood area, and I didn't get anything out of that hole worth digging further. Can't go deeper, there's too much water. So I think I'll go higher up on the bank, and that will allow me to get deeper. There's a possible chance that I might try on the other side of the river as well. But we'll come to that when we get back. For now, it's been an adventure again, and I don't regret coming out. I enjoy it every time, even if it's just to spend some time in the outdoors. I don't need to find gold to be happy. It's just something to do. So maybe you'll watch the videos next time and like and subscribe, and I hope to see you watching again. Thank you. Well, I'm ready to head out. I think that the only thing I left is a few footprints. Can't do nothing about that. Knocked down my tailings pile, hole is refilled, hose and everything has been gathered up. That's pretty much the way I left it, which is how it should be. Anywho, I'm out of here. Questions have been asked. Do bears shit in the woods? Well, judging from my drive today, I'd say no. Bears like to shit on the road. This is the third pile I've seen that bears getting healthy Friday. Yeah. Okay, well, that answers the question in case anybody ever wondered. They prefer the road.